Should you buy the M1 MacBook Pro in 2024? My name is Albert and I've been a user of the M1 MacBook Pro since it came out in 2020, and I'm going to share my experience ever since I started using this laptop. So this is the 16GB with 256. The drive space is quite small, but at that point that was what I could afford. So I got a 16GB and the 256GB version. And when I got this, I was coming from a Windows ecosystem. Like I was using a Windows Core i7, and when I got this, it was really a life-changing moment because my computer then was not too fast, and when I got this, it was crazy fast. But I'm going to answer whether it's still fast and it still performs well in 2024. So let me just give you a backstory of what I do to help you decide. I do design, basically graphic design. I use Photoshop, I use Illustrator. I also animate in After Effects. I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos, all on my M1 MacBook Pro 16GB version. So coming back from an Intel machine, it was really amazing. So I'm going to start off with the bad because this laptop has so many good even now, but I'm going to start off with the bad and I'll talk about the good. Then I'll tell you whether it's good or not to buy in 2024. But at the end of the day, it all depends on you buying it. All right, let's start with the bad. So when it comes to the bad side of using my M1 MacBook Pro, I think it's a little bit personal because when I was actually buying this laptop, I had to think of like the drive space, you know. So if you are buying this and you can go for the 512 or 1TB version, I don't know whether there's a 1TB version, but I think 512 was what I saw on the market then. But mine is 256, and every now and then, because I use Photoshop a lot, it will tell me Photoshop scratch disk is full. So I had to get an external drive like a 1TB and a 4TB M.2V SSD drive to connect to it, and I normally set my Photoshop scratch disk to that drive instead, you know, so that really helped me. But when I'm working, sometimes I'm away somewhere working and I forgot my drive. Sometimes I work on huge projects like billboard project and even website project that file size becomes big, and every now and then Photoshop tells me my scratch disk is full, and that's really a concern if you work in an ecosystem where software that you are using requires a scratch disk. Maybe this might be a bad idea when you are getting a laptop like this. So make sure you go in for a higher spec or you buy an external drive SSD just to connect to it. So the second bad thing, I will say this is all subjective because I'm a creative person. I do design, I build websites and those things. Sometimes you want a little bit of screen real estate, but the screen size of this is, I think it's 13.3 or 14, and I feel like it's a little bit too small when you are using it for a long time. You want more screen real estate. So that's another bad thing that I would just want to speak about, but you can work around that by connecting it to an external monitor. And that brings me to the second bad thing. With this laptop, you cannot connect it to more than 2 monitors. You can only connect it to 1 monitor, but I found a work around it, and that is what I currently use. I use 2 monitors. And what I got is this docking station. I think I bought it around £200 then, but I don't know the price now. I'll leave a link in the description. USB-C Ultra 5K universal docking station, and with this I'm able to connect 2 monitors, and it's really helped me because when I was buying it, I didn't check, and when I came I realized that, oh no, I couldn't connect 2 monitors, and I was like worried. So I had to do a little bit more research to be able to get this USB docking station. So when it comes to not being able to connect more than 2 monitors, it might be bad for some of you because you work in an environment where you require more screens, you know. So that is another consideration. You have to spend another money to buy a docking station, and with this, not every docking station will work, you know, but there are affordable ones on Amazon, or you can do your research on even on YouTube. There are affordable ones that you can purchase, and with that you can connect 2 monitors to be able to use. So the next bad thing about this laptop is also the export time. When I'm button 4K video, especially I use the iPhone 15 Pro Max to shoot most of the times in RAW. Sometimes with that, when you're shooting RAW, the file size is large, and if I import it into Premiere Pro, after working on it, applying an adjustment layer to it, color correcting it, the file size becomes very huge, and when I'm exporting it, it takes some time. Sometimes I have to wait for some minutes and hours, you know. It depends on the length of the video, and I can really hear the laptop fan making noise, you know, but it still gets the jobs done. So if you don't care about waiting for a while, I feel like you can go for it. But when it comes to even time right now, when I'm using Photoshop and I'm exporting something, and because I came from an Intel Windows machine, I don't really know any difference between this and a higher spec, like let's say M1 Pro and M1 Ultra, or M2 Pro and M2 Ultra. That is what I know, but I feel sometimes there's a little bit of delay. You have to wait some few seconds for it to export or for your dialog box to pop up. And if you care about performance and speed and getting work done faster, this might not be the laptop for you. But if you just want to get the work done and you don't really care about crazy fast machine, but an efficient, low-cost laptop, this, I can assure you that it might get the work done for you. So the next thing is, sometimes for some strange reason, I've had a couple of times where the laptop just crashed, like it just went off and it restarted. So I don't know whether it was a problem with like the OS, operating system in general, or it was a problem with the laptop. But it came on and it was working perfectly. So it's not really a problem, but it might be a concern for you. So anytime you're working with it, it doesn't normally happen, maybe once every 2 months. So that is just something you should know. All right, so let's do the good. There are a lot of good things about this laptop, and when it comes to the good, the first one that I would say is the battery. My God, the battery of this laptop is crazy. I'm telling you, it can go up to almost 24 hours. Like sometimes I use it for long hours. I go to the coffee shop and I'm using it, and especially if you live in a country where power system is an issue, laptop, the battery is really good, and it also depends on what you're working on. If you are doing exporting and those things, it drains the battery, but I feel this laptop's battery is really good, and if you're coming from a Windows ecosystem or a lower spec Intel Mac, this would be a game changer for you. So the next good thing is weight. You see, the weight of this laptop is really light and you can easily put it on your lap because it's small. So if you have a small backpack or you care about not carrying so much weight, this might be a very good one for you. So the next is the touch bar. Personally, one of the reasons why I got it at the beginning was because I fancied the touch bar, and it's quite unfortunate that Apple has removed the touch bar in their recent ones. But I really like the touch bar because sometimes when you are typing and you want to add an emoji, I don't have to go and copy it from a different website. I can just use the touch bar to increase or decrease the volume. And it's really amazing when it comes to the touch bar. And it even has a fingerprint too on the touch bar side. So this is one of the good things about this laptop. So if you fancy the touch bar, please go for it. All right, so when it comes to good, I'm going to talk generally about productivity. Coming from an Intel machine, Windows machine, I can say that over the past 4 years, this laptop has really made me really productive. It has increased my productivity level when it comes to the speed, like the way I work. I would say that if you are buying this and you can get a 16 gig version, if you have to sacrifice RAM or hard drive, please sacrifice the hard drive. Get one that has at least 16 gig because mine is 16 gig and it has really made me productive. I can open multiple tabs. I have Illustrator open, I have Photoshop open, and sometimes I'm working in both and it runs smoothly. Just that, as I said, I don't know any higher machine, so this is the only thing I know. So I can't compare it to anything higher. But if you are coming from a lower spec machine and you get this, you will not notice any difference when it comes to like any lag. You just have to wait maybe 1 or 2 seconds for something to get done. That's all. So it has really made me productive, and I think if you get it and you are coming from a lower spec machine, it is going to make you productive. So the next thing is the build quality. It's really strong, because Apple makes their laptop in aluminum. There are cases where the laptop is on my bed and it falls down and I think, oh, the screen is broken, but I check and there's nothing wrong with it because the build quality of this laptop is really, really strong, So the next good thing is also the webcam. I think this laptop's webcam is really good. I've used this several times on a Zoom call and I've had no complaints from my clients and also people I'm having a Zoom with. But when it comes to, let's say, doing Zoom calls or having FaceTime calls in a dark environment, that's where it becomes a problem. But overall, I feel like it's good compared to what I've had before. So this laptop webcam is good. So the microphone. So this laptop microphone is really good. I've had cases where I use just this laptop microphone to record my YouTube video. I actually used the microphone here and it really sounded good. I just took it to Adobe Audition to work on it a little bit. If you do a lot of recording and you want to get this laptop, just the microphone from this laptop is really good. Let's move on to the speakers. So the speakers of this laptop, I feel it's also not bad. It's really good. And I don't really use the speakers because I have a sound system, but when I need the speakers, I feel like it's good. So that is all for the good of this laptop. And so let me know what you think. Do you think this laptop is worth buying? Let me know if you have any questions in regards to specificity. Maybe let's say you've had a deal to buy the 8 gig version. Comment below if you think you should go for it. But personally, if you are doing video editing, photo editing and designing, I feel like the 8 gig version might not really help, but it all depends on you. The M1 chips are really fast, so you can just go with that if that fits your budget. That is all for now. Please do well to like and comment below and share this video if it was helpful for you. Albert here. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.